People look at your life and wonder why your circle is so small, and they call you antisocial because you only have 2 or 3 people you actually talk to, and they assume something must be wrong with you. But what if your brain is not broken at all? And what if science proves you are wired for something deeper than most people will ever understand? Psychology reveals that having a small circle is not a social failure, but a neurological design, and your brain literally has a capacity limit that makes you choose depth over width every single time. Research shows the human brain can only maintain about 150 meaningful relationships, and this is called Dunbar's number. But here is what most people miss within that number. There are layers, and the innermost layer fits only about 5 people, and these are the ones you would call in a crisis. And if your brain naturally prioritizes this layer over constantly expanding outward, it means you are investing your limited cognitive resources where they actually matter, and you are not being antisocial. You are being neurologically efficient. Your brain treats relationships like investments, and psychology calls this social investment theory, which explains that we only have so much emotional energy to give. And when you spread it thin across dozens of people, you end up with surface-level connections that never truly satisfy. But when you pour that same energy into just 2 or 3 people, you build bonds that go deeper than anything a large social circle could offer, and studies show that people with fewer but closer friendships report higher life satisfaction, because your brain knows one person who truly gets you is worth more than 50 who only know your name. If you process the world more deeply than others, your brain naturally filters out shallow connections because they feel exhausting, and research on introversion shows that deep thinkers often prefer fewer relationships because each one requires significant mental and emotional bandwidth. And this is not a flaw, but a feature of how you are wired, because while others collect acquaintances like social currency, your brain is busy building something real, and psychology suggests deep processors form attachments that are more secure because they take time to truly understand the people they let in. And this selectiveness is intentional connection, not isolation. Your brain has a built-in security system when it comes to letting people close. And this relates to attachment theory, which explains how we form bonds with others. And if your circle is small, it might mean your brain takes trust seriously and does not hand it out freely to just anyone. And this is not paranoia, but wisdom, because your nervous system has learned that not everyone deserves access to your inner world. And research shows people who are selective about close friendships experience less betrayal and more stability because they choose carefully and invest deeply. Society tells you that popularity equals success, and that having more friends means you are living correctly, but psychology says otherwise, and research consistently shows that the number of friends you have matters far less than the quality of those connections. And your small circle is not evidence of a social deficit. It is evidence of emotional intelligence, because you understand something that takes most people decades to learn, which is that real connection cannot be spread across dozens of people. And your brain chose depth because it knows surface bonds will never fill what only true intimacy can. So if you only have 2 or 3 close friends, remember that your brain has a capacity limit, and you are wired for depth, not width. And you invest your emotional energy where it counts, and you trust carefully because not everyone deserves access. And your small circle is not a weakness, it is proof that you understand what real connection actually means, and science confirms you are not broken, you are built for something deeper. If this finally explains something you have always felt but never understood, then like and subscribe, because we share psychology insights that help you see yourself more clearly and remind you that your brain knows exactly what it is doing.